My guest is someone I met a few years ago when I did a play at the museum, and her name is LaNesha DeBardelaben,
Yeah.
or something like that, right? Say
Yes.
it, pronounce it.
DeBardelaben.
I love her name. I loved it then. It's just, where is that name rooted from?
It's French and German. The family comes from Birmingham, Alabama. It's a
Wow.
long story.
Yeah. Well, no, if it's French, it's come back from a slave owner.
Right.
My family's from Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Last name was Louis,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yes.
was,
Right.
Lord, Louis. But
Absolutely. That history.
anyway, we're
Mm-hmm.
all rooted in there. We're all
Yes.
rooted in there. And Lanisha, how long have you been at the museum?
Just under 4 years.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
because you were kind of new when I came there.
Absolutely.
Okay, and your position is,
I serve as Vice President of Assessment and Community Engagement.
what is that?
So, the museum is approaching an accreditation process. We are pursuing accreditation, national accreditation. So, my role is to help lead the museum to accreditation. It's a 2 year process,
Yes.
and we're launching it. So, that's the assessment part. The community engagement part is that I help to facilitate partnerships and collaborations within the community for the museum.
Wow, that's
I
fabulous.
love what I do, and I
I
love the museum.
I know you do. I know you do. But the museum, in fact, a lot of us here, we remember the little museum mobile that Dr. Wright used to have, and he'd park it in different places because he'd bring it over to Highland Park back then when we were at the old high school and the Highland Park College, and you could go in and just see so much. And then he moved to the other building, and now they have the big edifice on Warren Avenue.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you something because people always talk to me about it. For the African World Festival, it's been moved to the museum grounds, right?
It has.
How is that working?
It's been going fabulously well. We are able to see individuals in the museum on the weekend of African World Festival who don't have a chance to come any other time during the year. So we're able to expose a larger audience to the museum, to the building, as opposed to when it was on Hart Plaza. So it's
Right,
working well for
right,
us.
right, right. I know, and a lot of people were saying that isn't right, but I know people who've gone down. And the thing about it is, it isn't as spread out as crazy as the African World Festival. I mean, not African. It's the African World. Yeah,
Yes. Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
And I encourage people to save those posters and stuff.
Oh, absolutely. African World Festival has been going on for well over 30 years now, and
Yes,
it has its own history.
right.
And so we encourage folks to mark their calendars for the third weekend in August. We will be celebrating big this year, being our 50th anniversary year of the museum.
Isn't that
African World
something?
Festival.
50 years.
Yes.
That is amazing. And we have something special coming up. Tell the audience about it.
We do. So we're excited at the Charles H. Wright Museum to celebrate our 50th anniversary. And the way that we will launch our 50th anniversary is hosting a musical celebration, a performance called Oh Freedom. It will be held on Sunday, March 1st at 7 p.m. at the Detroit Opera House, and it features Grammy winning vocalist Patty Austin. And she'll be backed by a 75 voice Detroit choir.
Wow.
And there are many other names that we're going to talk.
Nobody sings like Detroiters.
Truly.
I don't care. I've been around this country. No, tell us about some of the other people who are going to be on it.
So, Oh Freedom will feature also gospel artist Vanessa Bell Armstrong. She's been added
I didn't
to the
know that.
performance. Absolutely. And we also have jazz master Marcus Belgrave
Oh, my
and Joan
friend of
Belgrave.
mine, Marcus and
Absolutely.
Joan. Yeah.
Yes, yes. As well as Detroit's own Thornetta Davis will be
She
performing.
is fabulous too.
Fabulous. It's going to be a fantastic performance, and it's produced by Sanchez Harley, who is
I
a
met him last week.
yes, yes, he's an award-winning producer who's produced for Motown and so many artists from Shirley Caesar to Kirk Franklin to Aretha Franklin. So this truly is a performance like none other.
Wow. and then it'd be her, Patty Austin.
Patty Austin will be the
Where is it
feature.
going to be?
It's going to be at the Detroit Opera House, 7 p.m. on Sunday, March 1st. Tickets are available at the Ticketmaster
And the
or
tickets really are cheap to
they're,
me.
they are. They're affordable. They start at $25.
That's it for all that entertainment, and it's going to be joy in the house.
Oh, it
You know
will.
how we do.
Oh, absolutely. It will
Oh
be a
my
celebration
goodness.
like none other because this is the launch of our 50th anniversary celebration. So we're going to party
I
with
know, and
truly.
you have other things planned this year, right?
We do. So the Oh Freedom is the launch of our 50th
Right.
anniversary. We also have four other key programs that are a part of our 50th
Can you
anniversary.
tell us anything about the?
Yeah, so we can give a little bit of insight. We're focusing on this Oh Freedom because it's going to be
Of
fabulous.
course, and we'll go back to that. That's
Good.
going to be
Good.
fabulous.
So the other four events include Ford Freedom Awards,
Oh
which will
yeah.
be in early May. We'll be installing
Had you
names.
all decided who has wins those?
Not at this point.
Oh, okay, shoot. I
Yes.
wanted it exclusive.
So we're excited about
Every
Ford Freedom.
year,
Oh
it's
yes.
somebody. A couple of you give a couple of awards out,
We
don't you?
yes,
And
we will.
it's
Yes.
always because last year's recipients were.
Last year we installed the name of Nelson Mandela, President Mandela, into
Yeah.
our ring of genealogy. It
Wow.
truly is inspiring to see the names of these ancestors who made a way for us. So, For Freedom will be in early May, May 5th. And then we have what's called Call of the Drums in July. This will
I
be,
could imagine what that.
yes, an international drum summit. Drumming is such a cultural vibrancy, not just for African Americans, but for all cultures. And so we're going to celebrate what drumming is to all cultures. So that will be in July.
Isn't it amazing how drumming too? People used to get messages through the drums, the
Absolutely.
talking
It's
drums.
a form of communication.
Yes, it
It
is.
is, and it moves us.
Yeah, it
Drumming
does.
really moves us. It speaks
You
to the
can't
heart.
be still.
I I
I got to
know it.
dance. I do. Anyway,
And then our fourth event is African World Festival, third weekend in August.
yes, yes,
Yes, we're
yes.
excited about that. And then we will close out our 50th anniversary year with our gala, the Right Gala, in October.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
our big annual fundraiser.
Yeah, I've come to one of them that was just so fantastic. Herb Gardner was the. Do you know I directed him in a play years ago?
Did
Yes, I did.
you?
Yes, I did.
Oh,
You
well,
never
he's.
know where I've been, but
Oh,
yeah, I
you're.
directed him. He played
Yes.
Pearlie in Pearlie
Oh,
Victorious, the a
beautiful.
musical Pearlie. He can
Yes.
sing and everything. This was back in the 80s.
He's very talented.
Very
Yes, very
talented,
creative.
very creative. I didn't know he'd go on to do those kind of things. I knew he'd do something great, but
Oh, he's doing great work.
and so and the gala is fun
It
and
is.
it has entertainment and all of that.
It's going to be spectacular this year as well.
Wow, everyone should have a cheerleader like you.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Thank you.
Well, what about the world? Tell me about the funds and tell the audience that we have to support the museum. The memberships are very inexpensive. And how can people get memberships?
Memberships are important to the museum because it helps to sustain us, it helps to grow us, it helps us to reach new audiences when people take out memberships and renew memberships. So memberships are very affordable. They start at $35 for
Right.
individuals and 65 for a
For a
family.
whole family.
Yes, for the entire year. So the benefits extend for an entire year.
I mean, it is just wonderful, and especially because I plan to bring my grandson down there, especially when, because I can explain things, you know.
Yes,
I mean, I know you have tours and stuff, but Grammy can explain things a little different.
absolutely.
And that slave ship gets me every time.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Yes,
mean, it
ma'am.
just tugs at the heart. And one year, this was when the museum, before this was up, a friend of mine actually bought the slave papers to give to the museum of his family. And just looking at those papers and knowing what they do to us, did to our ancestors, was enough. I mean, I just cried. You can't help
Absolutely.
it. And you have to have that sense of history.
It's essential. And that's the reason of our existence, that we are there to preserve, educate, and inspire through African American history and culture. It's so important. James Baldwin said, "History is present in all that we do. We carry it with us."
We do.
Mhm.
We do.
Mhm. Mhm.
And we carry our ancestors with us. We may not know it, but you look at some of the things that you do and you say, I mean, just a quick case in point. My great great grandfather, I think it was, because my aunt and my cousin did the genealogy. After he was freed from slavery, he would sit under a tree and tell stories. People would gather around him. And then when my father, he could tell a story. He could just tell a story, have you laughing, have you crying, all this stuff. And people would gather around. In fact, when my dad had his heart attack, he was telling a story. Yes. And then when you look at when I started teaching, my students said, "Miss Perryman, you got a story for everything." And I never knew. I didn't know that piece of history yet. But so much of what we do comes from our ancestors.
It really does. And that's really what history is. It's a compilation of the stories about what we've been through, what we've overcome, and it tells us what we can go through and what we can overcome. It's
And it
inspiration.
shows how strong we are
How
as a
strong we are.
people.
Absolutely, we are.
And a lot of people, they fall into that hole and don't think that they can do, but we have it. We can survive.
We can.
And we can survive and do well. And everybody makes mistakes.
Yes.
And then they can, but the thing is not trying to get back up. And going to the museum, you've had exhibitions on women.
Yes, we have. I mean, we feature in our core exhibition in Still We Rise some of the most amazing African American women, from Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Ida B. Wells, and even some of Detroit's own
Yeah,
phenomenal women
yeah.
that really paved the way. Fannie Richards, the first African American teacher in Detroit public schools, and so many others are featured in our museum.
It's just wonderful. Plus, you have classes there. The museum has so much to offer, ladies and gentlemen. So much to offer. It's not just the African World Festival. It's not just Freedom Now, but Freedom Now is going to be fabulous. It's actually going to. It's the correct umbrella for what's going to be going on for the rest of the year. And the thing is, it involves so many Detroiters.
Truly. Absolutely. it will have an orchestra, musicians. I mean, we will be celebrating 500 years of African and African American history through music, through song,
500.
with some of the most phenomenal voices that will just inspire you and make you stand up straight.
Now, tell my audience once again how they could get tickets.
Tickets are available at the Detroit Opera House ticket box office, as well as any Ticketmaster, and online as well. Tick-
Online at Ticketmaster?
yes.
Okay, okay. That's great because a lot of times people don't want to go park and so forth. But right in your own home, you could get these tickets. It's going to be a fabulous, fabulous event. And I know you're excited about it.
We
You could
are
tell she's
thrilled.
excited, can't you?
We are thrilled, and we look forward to having Detroit and the area celebrate our 50th anniversary with us by attending Oh Freedom.
Wow. Thornetta.
Yes.
And Joan Belgrave was on my show just a few months ago, and she sang. I mean, this lady, all you have to do is say "sit," and she does. Oh, she starts jamming. And Marcus,
Yes.
he is a legend.
Truly. Truly, he is.
He is a legend, and everybody's giving him his roses
Yes.
now and everything.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we have to look forward to, and I'm excited about it. And we're getting ready. Remember, next hour is Table Talk, and we have some great subject matter for you. A lot of opinions today. A lot of the subjects deal with opinions about different things that are going on in Detroit and around the country, including they just legalized marijuana in in Washington D.C.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So wow, that's going to be something something. I
Yeah.
don't know. I hope they don't drive and smoke.
Oh,
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, LaNesha, thank you so much.
thank you.
Freedom Now, and the date is next weekend on Sunday.
This upcoming Sunday, March 1st at
Oh,
7 p.m.
This
Yes.
Sunday, March 1st.
Yes.
I was thinking of Zeta's. Their thing is next week. I tell you,
It's a lot going on.
it's a lot. You know
And
what
it's
I
great.
said? Detroit has a lot going on. Ladies and
Yes.
gentlemen, be right back. And LaNesha, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.